Do you know 92% of people fail to achieve their yearly goals? I was also in this 92%, stuck there probably for at least 5 years. And this was even though I was consuming thousands of hours of productivity content and jumping from tactic to tactic. But in the last 3 years or so, I've been effortlessly able to get up to 13 hours of focus and also keep my days at least 96% productive and achieving all my goals in all those years. So in this video, I'm going to show you what I call the stellar method, which is the simplest, most comprehensive way to achieve focus naturally and make this year your most productive year yet. To start, let me show you the first principle of the stellar method that will keep you consistent all year, just like how the Earth orbits around the sun. So I want you to just imagine a solar system. The star in the middle of the solar system is your goal, and then you are the planet. And as you orbit around the star, this is you making progress on the goal. And the longer you can stay in a consistent orbit is the more progress you're making. And then we just want to define success as you making consistent progress. So being in a state of progress to your goal would be defined as success. So we have two different planets here, planet A and planet B. We have planet A, which has a very, very stable circular orbit, kind of like Earth. And you just goes in a circle around the star, always in its orbit, always making progress towards its goal. But then we have planet B here, which has like a little bit of an unstable orbit. So it's getting slightly wider and wider over time. And that means this planet eventually is going to fling off orbit and essentially not make progress anymore and fly off into the emptiness of space. Which planet would you rather be? Planet A or B? Probably planet A, right? Because it's a consistent orbit, making consistent success. But the thing is, reality, most people are planet B. They rarely experience true success. And that's because they keep switching stars. Like, they're in this unstable orbit because they're looking at another star. So they slowly pull away from their true goal that they want to achieve. But this only results in them getting completely lost into outer space. And even Leonardo da Vinci said, fix your course to a star and you'll be able to navigate any storm. So fix your course to one star and you'll constantly be in a state of success. So how do you actually find your star or the right goal and then also stay in a stable orbit like planet A? So let's first look at finding the right star or finding your big goal. There's 3 simple ways to discover it and then therefore focus. The first way is your past. Think of when you're like a teen or when you're really young as like a toddler. All the things that fascinated you then, like, oh, this like bug fascinated me, animals fascinated me, or this particular sport fascinated me, space fascinated me. Think about all those obsessions that you may have had that you've now forgotten about as you grew up. And this could be your goal. You just need to reawaken it. But okay, maybe this doesn't work for you. So the second way is to examine your present frustration. So what is constantly getting stuck in your mind, bothering you? What is calling to you to fix it? What problems are calling to you to fix it? And eventually, as you follow the path of solving every single little problem that possibly frustrates you in your mind or like weighs in the back of your mind, those problems are leading you towards your calling. They'll get stronger and stronger. The problems will get bigger and bigger. And eventually, you may actually find your calling from that. And then 3 is, if that doesn't work, is to look into your future. And what I mean by this is to read the different success stories of other people. So like, I don't know, people like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk or like, I don't know, Donald Trump, even past people like Napoleon. If you read their success stories, think about their stories and how their life ended up, what they achieved, what their like actual like social life looks like, every aspect of it. And then from those experiences, you can think of like, oh, what might I want my life to look like? Do I want my life to look like this guy, this guy, this guy? And then from that visual, you can figure out what your big goal might be. And again, there's no single best way. Like, none of these 3 options are the best. You just want to probably actually just try all of them until you find your big goal. And again, if you do not have a big goal right now, going through all these 3 options is your big goal to find your big goal, because there's no way you can be focused without a big goal or without a star. And then the second part now is the stable orbit part. And again, there's 3 different steps so you can consistently be in a state of success and focus. Step 1 is just to keep your star consistently visible. So again, stable orbit. So you'll always have it in view. This is literally like write your goal everywhere, like a psychopath. Like, put it on the wall, on a poster if you have to, put it on your phone lock screen, reminder screen, your desktop background, write it on sticky notes and like paste it all over the place. It's because in the beginning, usually when you're just getting started, you easily get distracted because you kind of haven't built that focus skill yet. So you just have to have all these things right now to kind of like distract you back to your goal. And then step 2 is to stop chasing the other stars. So once you found your goal that like you genuinely think resonates with you, don't look at anything else. Like these are shiny objects. Avoid them at all costs. Because by trying to look at another star, you'll start to get pulled into their orbit, making your orbit unstable and then like flinging off and you get distracted, lost. But remember this, I know it might be hard to commit to like a single star, a single goal, but that's fear of commitment. And there's really no reason for it, because once you're committed to the star, there's no reason why you can't adjust your orbit a little bit. Pivot to something else. Like if you want to be a pro runner and then you end up like, oh, you know, I actually don't like competing in tournaments too much, but I still really like learning about running. Well, you can now pivot to a running coach, right? So there's no fear to be committed to one star. You can always adjust. And step 3 is to just avoid any distractions, or basically any asteroid trying to crash into you, steering you off course. This is like video games is one, or dirty videos, or like social media. Anything that takes you away from your goal and does not contribute will take you off the path of success. Okay, so now you have a solid goal and you know how to stay in a consistent orbit, but you've probably experienced how hard it is to actually stick to only one thing. After a while, you feel bored, or you feel like you're making no progress. So you slowly kind of like fall off once the excitement fades. How do you solve this problem of getting bored over time? The answer actually lies in seasons, the second part of the stellar method. Let me show you how it works. So think about this. Unless you live on the equator right now, you have 4 different seasons to your year. Like the year has like summer, fall, winter, spring. And the year is naturally divided into these 4 different seasons. Well, your goal should be exactly the same. It needs seasons too. So think about this example. You have 2 different anime series here. You have the first one, which the main character is just non-stop fighting. I don't know if you've seen this isekai, but it's just like pure action. You don't really know what's going on, just fighting all the time. And sure, there's tons of action, but it's honestly just boring, right? Because nothing is really different happening. But then you have anime B, kind of like Hunter x Hunter if you've seen it. There's like a training arc, there's like a struggle arc, an epic battle arc, and then finally sort of like a happy ending. Like that's really entertaining, right? So just like anime B effectively uses seasons, the second principle of the stellar method, to keep you engaged the entire thing. This will keep you engaged to your goals, keeping it exciting, keeping fulfilling the entire year. So how exactly do you do this? So there's just 3 steps here. And the first step is just to break your year up into seasons. And this will probably kind of blow your mind here, but I would say 90 days or 3 months is the best chunk of time. Because literally think about it. The seasons for the Earth are 90 days or just about 3 months every quarter of the year. And then also, like just one episode of an anime, one arc basically, is 12 episodes. 12 episodes correlates to exactly 3 months or 90 days. So this is like the sweet spot to have excitement, still keep around, but not too short where you can actually achieve something significant. And the second step is just to give your season a theme, or basically a milestone that you want to hit within that season. And don't try to balance out every single day to like, oh, I want to work this specific amount, play this specific amount. If you think within the entire season, you could have this whole entire season as like a super intense, work like 13, sometimes 18 hours a day for the entire season to accomplish a certain goal. But then remember, you go to your next season, which maybe it could be like a more chill season. So it could be like, this is your get jacked season, this is your learning season, this is your finding a business season, this is like make your first 1K season. Then once you have your seasons, you go into step 3, which is to wake up every day as the main character. Since you're the main character, you have to go through the season. Remember that as your own protagonist, that each day, each episode, you have to accomplish your season. You have to make progress towards the theme that you set. But now this gets into how can you actually stay consistent and motivated every single day within your seasons, also without getting burned out. So let me show you the third principle of the stellar method now. And just like Earth, on its axis is opening and closing each day, basically sunset and sunrise, your goals actually need a clear opening and closing each day as well. So if you imagine this, you are living on the Earth, the North Pole right now of Earth. Actually, like half the year is light, so like half the year is day and the other half of the year is completely dark. That's gonna mess you up, right? Like having one day stretched along in the entire year of time, you'll be really thrown off. But then if you're in like a more normal area, like somewhere in the middle of the Earth, you have like a regular day cycle. It would be 24 hours, you wake up one day and then part of that day is nighttime. Which one would you prefer? You'd probably prefer to have just one regular day, right? So how exactly do you set up this daily rhythm to maximize your productivity and focus? There's just 2 steps. Step 1 is to every single night close your day. And that's by clearly writing down everything that you need on your to-do list for the immediate next day. It needs to be the immediate next day and only the next day to move you forward on your current season. And then every morning when the sun rises also, take a look at it, set the clear intentions for your entire day, keeping you focused from the start. And then step 2 is just to keep yourself consistently spinning. So kind of like the earth is spinning consistently. Some people like to brag about how little sleep they get, saying shit like, oh, I only slept like 2 hours a day. I grinded for like 22 hours. They think they're making huge progress. But honestly, the only thing that they're grinding is grinding themselves down and not really making anything useful. So make sure you get enough sleep. So don't be like this. Most people need like 6 to 9 hours to be working most effectively, being the most focused. And then also eat well. Don't be eating shit and then drinking shit all the time. The good nutrition will give your brain the resources it needs and also your body to function as its best to keep you focused on your goals, making progress. Last is just to move your body. Don't be like obese land whale that's sitting there 24/7. You don't have to work out every single day, but have like a consistent schedule that you have every week. And this will actually boost your energy, again, keeping you more focused. And if you're morbidly obese, it's probably difficult to do things in general, right? Strong body, strong mind. So that's the stellar method. You'll have everything focused around your star, keeping you consistently focused every single day, making progress. But making progress, being consistent is still very difficult, right? Eventually you might get burned out or overwhelmed if you don't do this method correctly, or don't really have the specific sound on how to be productive. And if you're burned out and overwhelmed, there's no way you can focus, right? You'll just feel like shit. So how do you solve this? Well, you can actually watch this video here about my 8-year experience of making over 2,921 to-do lists and going through them. The lessons I learned from that, how to effectively make a to-do list that prevents burnout, overwhelm, and overload, which will save you tons of time.